The Northeast BDR travels 1,400 miles through 7 states on backcountry roads. It starts in Hancock, New York, and then quickly dips down into Pennsylvania before entering back into New York and continuing on through Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. It ends at the Canadian border about 15 miles north of Jackman, Maine.
The beginning of the route on the western side of the state, very early on, we'll stop at the Brick Store in Bath, New Hampshire. It's the oldest general store in the country. The owner is a motorcyclist. Great place to stop and pick up provisions or have a little snack. Over to the White Mountain National Forest, taking some hidden gems of roads out there through the countryside, very picturesque, very bucolic. We're at Stinson Lake, a few miles more dirt, and we're going to come down, cross over Interstate 93, and that's where we pick up Sandwich Notch Road. So a notch road is, unlike Vermont where they call them gaps, in New Hampshire we call them notches. It's typically mountains. Several of these notch roads are dirt, mostly along riversides, very curvy, very fun. Some of these notch roads are single lane, two-way traffic, so be careful. We will stop at a creamery in Sandwich. Nobody there is staffing the little store. You just pick your ice cream, put your money in the box. They've got several unique flavors that are really good. Is it good?
Well, that was good lunch.
That was the best.
You have this kind of lunch every day.
Me too. I could have a different.
After we leave Sandwich, we'll come across Lake Chicora with Mount Chicora in the background, a very scenic spot. We'll work our way up through Chicora and get on to the Kankamangas Highway. You'll see lots of nice sights along the Swift River where there's the Rocky Gorge, which is a very favorite swimming hole for a lot of people in the area. In the summer it's just crowded with people, but in the autumn, like today, it's fairly empty.
So Brian Pullen is our main expert, and he's a pilot, he's an adventure rider, and he loves his state.
The reason we have these stickers, we're going to get into the ATV trail system. You can get the sticker online. Part of the funds go to the individual clubs to take care of these trails. The town sets aside a lot of land, and you can see how we're here right now. We're going to work our way up through the ATV trail system up to North Waterford. The terrain will change. In the beginning, we're going to be pretty challenged up until noon through a lot of sand and rock and small trails and maybe even a little single track.
That was one of my favorite sections. You have a little bit of sand, a little bit of ruts. You go fairly fast. Just really fun road.
So the sand is awesome. Reminds me of home, but still a little bit different with all the rocks in it too. A little embedded every so often, but big sand berms and stuff. I love that stuff. I could ride that all day.
That section was wicked. I tell you what, I was bouncing around more than a rabbit on Red Bull. Coming up there, I think I hit everything but the lottery.
This route I designed for the motorcycle enthusiast. We are nowhere near a lot of the tourist areas in Maine. This is designed for people to enjoy motorcycling and backcountry discovery. You're going to be a long way from any human being out here.
Yeah, so I got a equivalent of a pinch flat. I basically hit a rock really hard. There was a section that we experimented with that we were calling the hero section, and this was meant to be a really challenging section. If someone rode this route and they weren't totally satisfied with being challenged, we had this section that was a true test. So we rode that, and it ended up being quite difficult.
The expert section is part of an old road system. There used to be a community back in the woods there, and it's you're going to see a little bit of everything. You're going to see rock and mud and water and ledge and roots, and there's a pretty good hill climb in there that we used to call the gauntlet, which is really tough. It'll be the most challenging section of Maine for sure.
Have you ever cleared it?
By myself, yeah.
No one was around.
But nobody was around to prove it.
Yeah.
There's no proof of it.
Well, I bent my shift lever back there, so I'm going to try to see if I can't get it shifted into second before I head up.
Come on, we ain't got all day. We got to mark you with a calendar.
You know, when we got to that challenging section, even though he'd been giving Jocelyn a hard time this whole trip, there was no bigger advocate for Jocelyn, and it was cool seeing him really want her to succeed on that.
You're a badass. Remember that. You're a badass, and what's happened before, you know, in the past, it doesn't matter.
Watching Jocelyn battle her bike up the hero section, I was feeling her pain because I saw how she was struggling. You know, the struggle was just written on her face, but I saw how much she had to dig deep and persevere and get to the top.
You got it!
Hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah, good job, Jocelyn.
Not quite how I envisioned it to go.
From here on out, it'll be nice.
We're all proud of you.
That's a brutal. I would never take a 1200 like that. No way.
It's tough though, right?
Tough is good.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get a better rider if you ride easy stuff, right?
You got that right.
I followed Mike Lafferty. I just kind of saw where he went, and there's this granite slab right at the top of the first climb, and he just kind of went right up that. So I took my line and I got to that granite slab, and I came up to that thinking there's no way I'm going to get over this, so I just gave it a little gas to get over it. I didn't think I had enough momentum, so I gave it a little bit of throttle, and the front jumped up in the air, and I just parked it into a tree.
You're a badass.
Well,
You're a badass.
that
What happened is behind you.
was more of a dumbass.
Oh shit.
My windscreen is completely fucked, so I should probably go start duct taping that up.
I tried to prep everybody that it was tough. I wanted people to know that this was truly a difficult section, and I think it lived up to its name.
Today's route in Maine finished up a little on the difficult side. It was a little extreme, I would say. I enjoy it, I do like it, but if I'm riding with 5 or 6 people that I know aren't going to enjoy it, I'm going to go around it too.
My advice for this BDR is that this probably shouldn't be your first BDR. I think you should work up to this one. If you're looking for a really big challenge, the Northeast BDR will, I think, give you everything you wanted, maybe more. However, if you are, a beginner rider, intermediate, and you want to do this one, but you're not a highly skilled off-road rider, you can just skip the Class 4 roads. Most of this route
is fairly easy. It's just the class 4 roads that are really challenging. So you can skip those, and then it's a much more achievable route for a lot of people.
Rangeley is actually halfway between the equator and the North Pole at the 45th latitude. It was started by a son of an English gentleman who bought 31,000 acres from Massachusetts and gave it to his son. His son inherited it, and he started the community up there. The humidity's down. This is the epic time to ride it. It'll be really enjoyable for people.
It has a certain smell, like the trees, the spruce and the pine trees, you know, I recognize that scent. And boy, I haven't seen these fall colors in so many years. It's really neat to meander through this little dirt road with the just bright colored trees coming along one after the other after the other.
So you'll see a lot of logging operations en route as we go. The final portion of this route, I think, will be really, really phenomenal. From Rangeley to Jackman, to me, it's almost like you're levitating through the forest. The way the road undulates, you get into almost like a dream sequence, and it's really amazing. It's like flying through the forest with great views. I would not miss that for anything.
Well, we've been promised rain since we've been riding on the Northeast BDR, and finally we're 30 minutes right before the border. It starts raining really hard, but you know what? I have a smile on my face. It's just part of the adventure. I love it.
40 miles an hour in the middle of nowhere, she chucks her pannier off at me, and I have to swerve around it to avoid it.
I thought I heard something. It was like, and then the bike got a little bit lay on one side.
It's like she pushed the eject button and it just
whoop.
shot my direction. All is good, and I think we're still friends. We friends? Right on. All fun.
Yes.
The group that we've been riding with, we've come together and bonded as friends, and to me that's the best part of the whole trip. This BDR is going to be one of the favorite routes. It's like a variety pack. Everything from smooth roads to technical rocks, the big farms and the unique people. The whole thing together has just been an incredible experience. And I'm already thinking in my head when I can get back out this way to do it again.
Oh man. Level.